Lord, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Thanks for finding your way here, however you did it. We're doing lots of grassroots outreach. We're doing internet advertising. We're doing lots of stuff to spread the word about what we are up to. And what we are up to is bringing to the table science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition strategies for the masses. Foundation medical nutrition for the masses, because all chronic diseases are linked in some way, shape, or form to chronic nutrient deficiencies. Nobody knows this. Nobody's talking about it. Everybody needs to know it. Everybody needs to start importing the 90 essential nutrients into their bodies as soon as is humanly possible to give their bodies a fighting chance just to be able to handle the normal wear and tear and stress of life. There are things that we do automatically without even thinking about it, right? We take showers, we take baths, we use soap, we drink purified water, etc. Well, there's one more thing that we need to do automatically. We need to be supplementing every single solitary day with good recipes of the 90 essential nutrients. When enough people start doing this every day, it's going to pop through the entire culture. We need about 16% of the population to be doing this in order for everybody in the population to be doing this. That's the breakthrough number. That's the breakthrough number, 16% of the population. So, right, years and years ago, nobody had a home computer. Now everybody has a home computer. Years and years ago, nobody had a cell phone. Now everybody has a cell phone. Why? Because they're awesome, and they make your life a million times easier. Well, when you give your body the raw materials that it needs, when you give your body for the first time in your life all of the essential nutrients that it needs to function the way that nature and God intended it to, that's a game changer. That makes a difference, which is noticeable, measurable, and often quite remarkable. It's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, until what I'm talking about on this radio program and what Dr. Wallach has been talking about for over 20 years goes viral. You better get in while the getting's good. Get with the person that invited you here and ask them about longevity. Tell them you want to know about the health opportunity, you want to know about the business opportunity, you want to know what's going on here and how you can join our peaceful, quiet revolution of sophisticated, compassionate, smart human beings taking their own responsibility for their own health into their own hands. Why? Because the MDs have completely let us down. And I mean completely, utterly, and totally. Again, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed medicine. The leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. Why is this? Because the most expensive medicine in the world is the one that does not work. MD-directed medicine does not work for chronic disease. It needs to be abandoned. It does not need to be tweaked, modified, massaged, or repaired. Does not need to be upregulated or downregulated. It needs to be abandoned because it does not work. Not for chronic disease. The wheelhouse of the MD is trauma care, surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and a handful of infectious diseases. But if you're suffering with a chronic disease, asthma, high blood pressure, heartburn, type 2 diabetes, whatever, the last person you should bring your suffering, ailing body-mind to is anybody with an MD after their name. This is Metaphysical Thursday, and on Thursdays we talk about things a little bit outside of the box of conventional, pragmatic, down-to-earth medicine. But really from the proper perspective, the metaphysical stuff that's going on inside the human body, the stuff that is beyond the ken of conventional science to measure, is really everything. Because from the holistic point of view, the human body is inhabited by a spiritual force, Whatever it is that brings light to your eyes, whatever it is that leaves the body at the moment of death, well, it is this spiritual vital force which is keeping the whole kit and caboodle together. And I'm going to read to you more selections today from Lectures on Homeopathic Philosophy by James Tyler Kent. Lectures on Homeopathic Philosophy by James Tyler Kent. This book is over 30 years old. It's like my Bible. I read from it regularly because really there are very few people in the world who understand this concept. There are even fewer who are practicing actively this concept with active patients inside of a doctor-patient relationship, right? So it's good to remind ourselves every once in a while that there are more people than just good old Dr. Glidden who understand this and who are talking about it. So let's see what James Tyler Kent, one of the leading proponents of homeopathic medicine in the 1800s and the early 1900s, has to say about the vital force. From the Organon of Medicine, which is Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's textbook, classic textbook on homeopathic medicine. In paragraph 10, Hahnemann says, the material organism, the human body, without the vital force, is capable of no sensation, no function, no self-preservation. It derives all sensation and performs all the functions of life solely by means of the immaterial vital force, which animates the material organism in health and in disease. Okay, you get that? So from the homeopathic point of view, from my point of view, from most holistic medical physicians' point of views, the unseen spiritual vital force which inhabits the human body is running the show. And it is the vital force which is responsible for everything that you see, touch, taste, hear, and feel. All of the sensations in your body are present only because of the presence of the vital force inside the human body. Hahnemann goes on to say in chapter 11, paragraph 11, when a person falls ill, it is only this spiritual, self-acting vital force everywhere present in the organism that is primarily deranged by the influence upon it of some morbific agent inimical to life. I love the way these guys used to talk, right? A morbific agent inimical to life. It is only the vital force deranged to such an abnormal state that can furnish the organism with its disagreeable sensations and incline it to the irregular processes which we call disease. For, as a power invisible in itself and only cognizable by the effects on the organism, its morbid derangement only makes itself known by the manifestations of disease in the sensations and functions of those parts of the organism exposed to the senses of the observer and the physician. This is by morbid symptoms. And in no other way can it make itself known. This is a very important point from holistic medical point of view. So number one, the human body is inhabited by a spiritual vital force which runs the show. And it is the presence of this spiritual vital force inside the human body, call it the soul, call it the spirit, call it, whatever you want, that is responsible for everything that you see, touch, taste, sense, and feel, everything. All of the sensations in the body are present because of the presence of the vital force in the human body. Now, when your body-mind experiences a stress which is too great for it to handle, the stress impacts the body-mind, it destabilizes the body-mind, and the vital force inside the body-mind is upset and unbalanced. And when the vital force is upset and unbalanced, it generates symptoms, right? So an active symptom like heartburn or a headache, a pain in the left temple, or pain in the right elbow joint, or restless legs at night in bed, or an inability to concentrate, right? Or difficulty inhaling, asthma. All a symptom from the holistic point of view is a de facto expression of the nature of the disease process because it is an example and it is being expressed actively by the vital force. Now, this gets a little interesting, right? Because from the holistic point of view, when the human body is stressed by some external factor, maybe it's a fight with your husband or a fight with your wife, or you just won the lottery, or you just, went bankrupt, or you're getting married, or you're getting divorced, or you're having a child, or you just got a new job, or you just got fired, or you're in an automobile accident, or somebody's shooting at you in Iraq, or you're breathing in some noxious carbon monoxide, or you're exposed to the Ebola virus or the influenza virus or a staphylococcal bacteria, right? A stress to the human body comes in many shapes, colors, and forms. And if the stress is too much for the system to be able to handle, the stress impacts the body, destabilizes the body, and the body generates a symptom. And now the MD marches into this arena and generates a medicine, gives you a medicine which suppresses the symptom. Now what's going to happen? After a fashion, the body's going to fall further off balance and develop another symptom. And this is why you need to constantly re-up your medication. This is why the MDs need to add medications into the mix. Because when you simply suppress the symptom, you are doing nothing to reestablish structural integrity in the body, to reestablish energetic integrity in the body. You're doing nothing to heal the disease process. Zero. But when the sophisticated, intelligent physician pays attention to the symptoms of the body, they are given clues as to what to do to support the body's ability to reestablish balance. And when the body reestablishes balance, the symptoms disappear, and the person is brought back into a state of homeostasis and balance and equipoise, and this is the very definition of health. So, the presence of the vital force in the human body runs the show, and when the show is upset, the vital force generates symptoms, and the smart physician pays attention to the details of the symptoms in determining how to help the patient recover their health. More on this when we come back. It's a relatively important point to ponder and understand. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. Check out the live video stream, the drgliddenshow.tv, and join the chat. Stick around. All right, so welcome aboard. So this is an important point to ponder, right? The presence of the symptom in the human body to the holistic physician is everything. So if you were to go to a holistic physician and you had a headache, well, if you were to go to a medical doctor, an MD, and you have a headache, you'd spend 2 minutes with a doctor. You'd say, "Oh, doc, I have a headache." The rest of the time would be spent with the nurse. The nurse would take your temperature and your blood pressure and measure your weight and measure your height, and then they'd note that all down in your chart. And then the doctor, after hearing your, 60-second dissertation on your symptoms, would order all of this objective diagnostic discovery, right, that he or she felt was necessary. Urinalysis, stool analysis, blood work, X-ray, CT scan, MRI, whatever. And in the United States, if it's after the 15th of the month, they will order more than is necessary in order to meet their quota, because if they are referring patients to hospitals, there's a quota of laboratory diagnostic stuff that they have to order every month. There's a quota for patients that have to be admitted to the hospital every month. There's a quota for surgical procedures that have to be done every month. The worst time to visit an MD with a chronic health condition is after the 15th of the month in the United States. But that's a separate side issue, okay? So the doctor orders, the MD orders all of this diagnostic discovery, the intention of which is to objectively understand what's happening to you. They don't give a hoot about your subjective symptoms. They do not care one whit. And so all of the blood work comes back normal, the x-rays come back normal, the ultrasounds come back normal, everything comes back normal, and yet you still have active symptoms. So as far as the doctor's concerned, there's really nothing wrong with you. That's just life, or you're a psycho case and really you're just imagining it, you're not really sick. So let's give you some anti-inflammatories, or let's give you some pain medication, and then they dismiss it like that. Now remember, the pain medication here, or the anti-inflammatory medication, is not intended to fix the disease. That medication is only intended to suppress the symptom, right? So your body's been attacked by a stress that it can't handle. The body has become destabilized. The body generated a symptom, in this case, which is a headache, and now the MD delivers a pain medication to suppress the pain. Now, does that fix the problem? No, it doesn't fix the problem. It simply suppresses the symptom. It's like snipping the wires on the check engine light on the dashboard, right? Or, you're on the Starship Enterprise and the warning lights start to flash. Well, you flip the switch on the computer that turns them off. Well, that's not a good idea. But that's what the MDs do. So now you're frustrated with this, and so now you go to a holistic physician. Now, if you're going to go to a holistic physician and you have a headache, here's how the conversation would go. It would take about an hour and a half. The doctor would ask you, well, you have a headache? Well, what part of your head is it in? Is it in your right eye, your left eye, your temple, your back of your head, the top of your head? What part of your head is it in? What does it feel like? Does it feel like your head is exploding? Does it feel like someone's hammering a nail into your head? Does it feel like someone's tightening your head between a vise? Does it feel like somebody's stabbing you in the brain with a sharp ice pick? What does the pain feel like? Describe in detail the pain. When does the pain happen? Does it happen all the time? Does it only happen in the morning? Does it only happen in the middle of the night? Does it only happen after you eat? Does it only happen when you're anxious or stressed out about something? When does it happen? Where does the pain go? Does it stay in one place or does it travel to other parts of your body? Starts in your right eye and ends up in your left shoulder. Where does the pain go, or does it stay in one place? What makes the pain better? What makes the pain worse? Does lying down in a dark room with your eyes closed make the pain better? Does light make the pain worse? Do odors or sound make the pain better or worse? Does motion make the pain better or worse? What makes the pain better or worse? Are there any other symptoms that come along with the headache? Like every time you get a headache, you're nauseous, or every time you have a headache, you have diarrhea, or every time you have a headache, you spontaneously want to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. What other symptoms, if any, come along for the ride? And more detail is sought after by the inquiring mind of the holistic physician, because to the holistic physician, the subjective experience, the subjective presentation of your symptoms is the language of the vital force. And when we pay attention to the language of the vital force, we are given therapeutic information about how to help the body fix itself. Of course, the MD, being an old-fashioned reductionist, practicing, Jurassic Park medicine, wants nothing to do with this. They're only interested in, cadaver dissection and nonsense. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the live video stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. Now, if you're listening to this station, to me on a terrestrial radio station, and you're interested in the information that I'm talking about, then listen to the commercial break and call the number that you hear on the commercial break, because we have local Youngevity representatives on the other end of that phone line waiting to answer all of your questions. How can you become affiliated with Youngevity? How can you get the Youngevity nutritional supplements? How can you become a Youngevity business owner? How can you become a Youngevity associate? We have representatives on the other end of the phone line waiting to answer those questions. If you found me on your own through the internet and you want answers to these questions, please call this number, 855-347-3696. And if somebody invited you to this radio program, an already existing Youngevity representative invited you to this program, then get with them to get your questions answered about how you can affiliate yourself with us and become a member of Youngevity Nation, which arguably will be one of the smartest things you have ever done in your life. Now, I just want to finish up this one thought, and then we're going to go to the phones. Hazel Rose is in Kansas. I'm going to pull her up in a second. After her, we're going to go to Lonnie in West Virginia. Clinton from Minneapolis is up. Richard from Texas. Patricia from California. Okay, so we've got a lot of questions to answer. The phone lines always ring off the hook on this show. So, when you have an active symptom, the holistic physician pays extreme attention, like a detective at a crime scene, to the discrete ways in which the symptoms, the subjective symptoms, show up. Because the subjective symptoms, how you feel about your illness, the way that your symptoms, the manner in which your symptoms are expressing themselves, make all of the difference to the sophisticated holistic physician. The MD doesn't give a hoot about your subjective symptoms. The MD is only interested in their objective findings. Blood work, lab work, urinalysis, right? And oftentimes you're in a world of hurt, and all of the diagnostic discovery comes back normal. Well, what's up with that? Well, what's up with that is that your MD is looking at this through the wrong lens. Your MD is like a colorblind art critic who doesn't know that they're colorblind. They're going to do a lousy job. But because they're surrounded by colorblind art critics, all who, sing the same song, they're never going to think it's their fault that you're sick and suffering. Can't be the doctor's fault. It's got to be your fault, right? You've got the headache gene. That's what you've got. Baloney. So, when we pay attention as holistic physicians to the manifestations, the details of the manifestations of your active subjective symptoms, we are given clues as to what to do to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself, okay? So, acupuncturists do this. You want to have a really fascinating experience, visit a traditional Chinese medical doctor. Visit a traditional Chinese doctor and just go in for a diagnosis. The language that they use, the diagnostic stuff that they do will blow your mind, and it will really open windows in your mind as to what your MD is not doing. Same thing with a homeopathic interview. You sit with a homeopath for an hour and a half and your head will explode because you never spent that much time with a doctor before, number one. And number two, in 30 minutes, the homeopath knows more about the details of your symptoms than any physician or any nurse ever has in your entire life. Because this is what we do. This is how we address illness in a clinical setting with private patients. Now, in the context of this radio program, we're interested in giving to your body foundation, boilerplate, nutritional support. Because the idea here is that the vital force inside the body has intelligence. And the vital force is attempting all of the time to maintain homeostasis in the body, to optimize its structure and function, and to just be cool, baby. Just be cool. Your vital force is trying to do that all of the time, but it needs raw materials to do that. So it is entirely prudent, wise, and effective to deliver to everybody's body, regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of anything, the 90 essential nutrients necessary for health. And a majority of the time, when you simply give your body the raw materials that it needs to function the way that nature intended it to, and you stop eating food that's gumming up the works, that is all that's necessary to bring your body back into a state of balance, because the body is attempting to maintain its balance all of the time. It's the first, second, and third things to do, by the way. Now, once your body has been nutrified for 6 months, you stopped eating the 10 bad foods, you're taking the appropriate healthy pack generated by Youngevity, and you've been doing a good job for 6 months. If after 6 months you still have active symptoms, you get a migraine headache before your menstrual cycle, you're still bothered by nightmares 4 times a week, or low-grade anxiety and panic attacks, or that nagging little pain in your elbow just won't go away, or whatever, at that point in time, after you've been nutrified for 6 months, it's recommended that you entertain the services of a private holistic physician. And as God is my witness, if you bring a nutrified body, a mineralized body to the office of an acupuncturist or a homeopathic physician, or an Ayurvedic medical practitioner, or an herbalist, or a naturopath, or a chiropractor. The therapeutics that they are trained in, that they will deliver unto your body, are much more effective because your body has all of the nutrients it needs to fix itself. But when you bring an undernutrified, wiped out body to the office of a holistic medical practitioner, you're going to get piss poor results. Because the vital force is weak. The vital force is flagged out. The body is undernutrified. You know, it's like trying to jumpstart a car, but there's no gas in the tank. That's not going to work. I don't care how much voltage you give the battery, the car ain't going to start if there's no gas in the tank. You got to put gas in the tank. And then you jumpstart the battery. Good, you're good to go. That's what this is like. And this is the relationship between medical nutrition and alternative therapeutics. I don't like to say alternative. This is the relationship between medical nutrition and holistic therapeutics. They go hand in hand. But often, just providing your body the 90 essential nutrients and stop eating the 10 bad foods is all that you need to do in order to jumpstart your body and push your body back into a state of balance. Because remember, your body is attempting to do that all of the time, but it needs raw materials to do that. Now, if you have an active symptom, your body has been stressed and destabilized and now it's symptomatic, and you suppress the symptom, you're going to weaken the body. And you're going to make it more difficult for a holistic therapeutic to kickstart your system, because every time you take that drug, your body gets a little bit weaker. Your body gets a little bit weaker. Your body gets a little bit weaker. And remember, we're not against drugs. For goodness sake, thank God for Novocaine. Thank God for penicillin. Thank God for morphine. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. You can use drugs holistically. Did you know that? Many people don't know that, and very few people do that, but you can. But the MDs never use the drug holistically, because to the MD, holistic philosophy is a fiction. It's nonsense. It's, ridiculous. And this is why you must, under all circumstances, as quickly as possible, fire your flippin' MD. Because the therapeutics that they are trained in are old-fashioned, outdated, and completely out of sync with what the reality of the human body is. Again, if you hire a colorblind artist to paint a family portrait, you are going to be disappointed. And that's what the MDs are. They're like colorblind artists, but they have no idea that they're colorblind. And so all of their portraits are messed up. Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. While we've given the MDs control of the medical theater, autism has risen from 1 out of 10,000 births to 1 out of 89. Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to become the 6th leading cause of death. Heart disease remains the 2nd leading cause of death. Cancer remains the 3rd leading cause of death. There has been no traction in these chronic conditions. Arthritis is on the rise. Don't even get me started on obesity. While we have given our health to the care of the MDs, we're getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and nobody is talking about it, except me and Dr. Wallach. Again, the medical system doesn't need to be tweaked. We don't need more mandatory insurance to gain access to MD-directed medicine. That's what we need. We need more citizens to go to the MD. No, it's absolutely the opposite. We need more people to understand the intimate relationship between health and nutrition, the intimate relationship between health and nutrition, but people do not. And so, my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. It's that simple. Now look, you stick around with us long enough, you're going to hear testimonials that'll make your head explode. No kidding. Your body's ability to fix itself is so much greater than you have been led to believe that it is a jaw-dropping, eye-opening, awesome experience to finally walk planet Earth in a body that's completely nutrified and to get smart enough to know which foods are good for you and which foods are bad for you. You stop eating the 10 bad foods and you nutrify your body, it is a completely different ball game. A completely different ball game. And this is our challenge to you. You know, I don't even care if you know how to spell vitamin. It doesn't matter if you are able to, intellectually follow what I'm talking about. But I do want you to trust me. Trust me enough to give it a try, because ultimately the proof of the pudding's in the eating. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website. Just stop eating these 10 foods. No bitching, no moaning, no crying, no complaining. Just stop eating these 10 bad foods, period. And take one appropriate healthy start pack. The Healthy Body Pack, the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, the Healthy Digestion Pack, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, whichever one is appropriate for you. Do one healthy pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Do that for 90 days. And let the proof of the pudding lead you further. And welcome to the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. I am the red pill. Pop out of the matrix right now. Join the live stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. That's where you need to be. Stick around. Kansas. Hey, Hazel. Hazel Rose. Thanks for listening. You are live. Hazel Rose. Hazel Rose sat on attack. Hazel Rose. Come in, Hazel Rose. Are you with me? All right, Hazel, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to go to Lonnie in West Virginia. Hey, Lonnie, thanks for calling. You are live. Lonnie! Come in, Lonnie. Oh, maybe we're having board problems in the old studio. I'm not sure. Next on the list is Clinton in Minneapolis. Hey, Clinton, how about you? Are you there? Clinton in Minneapolis, come on in. Hello, Clinton. Come on in, Clinton. Come on in, Clinton. Okay, no Clinton either. Well, that's 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. That's never good. Third strike, you are out. How about Richard in Texas? Hey, Richard in Texas, you are live. Richard in Texas, come on in. Richard in Texas, come on in. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, we are having trouble. Hey, there we are. Who am I talking to?
Richard.
All right, Richard. Finally, we got somebody live and in person. Hey, man, thanks for waiting. What's happening down there in Texas?
Well, everything's beautiful.
Well, all right. First things first. What's your horse's name? Doesn't everybody in Texas own a horse? Come on.
No.
Don't you have spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle? Come on, man.
No, sir. No, sir.
Hey, what part of Texas are you in, man?
I'm down on the coast by Louisiana, right next door to Louisiana. I'm in that east corner.
Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
We're not far from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh yeah, well, great. Are you like kind of northeast of Galveston?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, it's so hot down there. It's not hell, but you can see hell from your house, probably, right? So what's happening, man? How can I help? Thanks for the call.
Well, what it is, I've been on the product since May.
Great.
And it started. I started off. I was taking I'm taking the tangy tangerine and the OsteoFX FX and I was taking the glucogel and the EFA plus. I was taking those. I was taking just 2 and 1 to start with, and I was and the other I was just taking two spoonsful, and I was having problems with arthritis in my hands and my knee joints were hurting. Well, they cleared, so I called Wendy, and she told me to increase the glucose gel to 3 and the FX to 2. What
happened?
That's 3 times a day.
Yeah, what happened?
And I increased the two powders. I increased them to three scoops a day. And after about 4 days, it cleared up. And then all of a sudden it's come back.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what happened. All right.
And so what I did, I got off of bread, and I don't eat any kind of pasta.
Great.
Or any of that kind of stuff. And so my weight's I'm 270.
Yep.
And I'm 70 years old.
Yep.
And so
have you lost any weight while you've been doing this?
Since May.
How much weight have you lost?
I've lost 10 pounds.
All right. So look, we're up against a hard break. It's the top of the hour. Stick with me. I'll pull you back at 6 after the hour, and I'll tell you exactly why the symptoms went away and why they came back. So glad that you called. I'm going to dial this in for you, Richard. I appreciate your trust and your support. Stick around, brother. I'll pull you up at 6 after the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Check out the live video stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. We're back with the second hour after these messages. We got Texas on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Texas on the line. Richard from Texas. He doesn't have spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, but he's got enough sense, enough common sense to give longevity a try, and we need to dial it in for him here. Hey, Richard, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hello.
So,
okay.
for how many days or weeks did the arthritic symptoms go away?
Well, like a week or so at a time, or maybe two weeks at a time, and then they'd come back in one finger, And I play golf.
Yeah.
And so that it would bother my golf game, and then so it has stopped. Like I've been for maybe 3 weeks, and then it started coming back on me, and then this past after Monday, I played golf Monday, and then my left wrist is in such pain right now that I just don't,
Yeah, I get it. 100%. Okay, so what's your handicap?
I shoot in the 80s, 82, 83.
Oh man, I don't like you anymore, Richard. You know what my handicap is?
No.
My putter. Bada boom. I can't putt my way out of a paper bag, man.
That's the only thing I can really do real good.
I shouldn't say that out loud. I can't. I'm the best putter in the world.
Right.
Let's change it up. I'm the best putter in the world, for goodness sake.
There it is. That's right. Don't claim nothing on yourself.
That's right. That's right. All right. So look, here's the deal. It's kind of like you took the bandage off too soon. All right. So.
Okay.
How many years have you been dealing with, arthritic trouble?
None. Hardly. This hadn't been happening since I've really.
Well, you started longevity to help with your arthritic stuff, right?
Right. Well, I started it for my joints because I was having.
So for how many years have you had joint trouble?
Well, probably 4 or 5.
Okay. So it's going to take you about 6 months. 6 months to 6 to 12 months to get completely on the other side of this, right?
Right.
So what's going to happen between now and then is it's going to be a roller coaster, right? You're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to have a good week. You're going to have a bad week. And it's going to be itinerant upon the stress of your life and you know how good you've been with the diet and how Johnny on the spot you are with the nutritional supplements and everything else. So what you should experience moving forward is more good days and less bad days. But
Right.
you're still going to have a bad day here or there, maybe a bad week here or there as you're on the road to recovery, right? I mean, that's just how it goes. I
Right.
mean, if you come off of
Well,
the
that's
crutches
what I
too
thought.
soon, you know, you're still going to have a funky ankle, right? So, but there is a way that you can optimize this. So what's your current body weight?
I'm 270.
All right. In a perfect world, are you doing the glucogel capsules or the liquid?
I'm doing the glucose capsules.
All right. In a perfect world, you would be doing 27 capsules a day. 9
I
with
see.
breakfast, 9 with lunch, 9 with dinner.
Oh, really?
Yep. And you know,
Oh.
if you, I don't know if that's in the budget, but if you can't afford that, do 18 a day.
Let's
If
see.
you can't afford that, do 9 a day. Okay. But
Right.
now, if you can't afford 27 glucogel capsules a day, go to the supermarket and get a couple of boxes of Nox gelatin, NOx gelatin, and just
Right.
drink a couple of packets of gelatin every day in addition to the longevity supplements. Now, also in a perfect world, you would be are you doing the powdered calcium or the liquid calcium?
I'm doing the powdered. Both,
All right.
both of them are powdered. The,
All right. I
Tang-
want you to
the Tang
switch it up.
Tangerine and the
All right. Yeah, I want you to, when you run out of the powdered calcium, I want you to switch it to the liquid calcium. And the
Okay.
liquid calcium is called Beyond Osteo FX Liquid. All right.
Okay, right.
Now, in a perfect world, you would be doing 3 bottles of Beyond Osteo FX Liquid a month.
Okay,
You would be doing 1 ounce of the calcium 3 times a day.
okay,
All right. Now,
Okay.
in a perfect world, you would be doing 3 canisters of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine a month.
right.
You would be doing 6 level scoops of that a day. 2
Right.
scoops in the morning, 2 scoops in the afternoon, 2 scoops at night. So, medical nutrition works best when it is dosed appropriate for body weight. But, you know, life comes rolling in. I have no idea what your budget is. A little bit of this stuff is going to go a long way. But
Right.
you can maximize the return on your investment, so to speak, and speed up the recovery time if you maximize the dose.
Right.
So really, that's all that you need to do, or just give the program more time. And you know, I think this is an important thing to talk about, Richard, because, right? I mean, we've been so brainwashed by the pharmaceutical industry for the last 100 years that we're all kind of used to the quick fix, right?
Right.
I mean, you take the Tylenol, man, and, you know, 60 minutes later, no more headache. Oh, that's awesome, right? Well, not really, because nothing really got fixed. But now, medical nutrition is a completely different animal. And healing the
Right.
body is a process, right? It's not an event. And it's
Right.
going to have ups and downs. It's going to have peaks and valleys, and that's just the way that it is. You
Right.
can have a better experience of recovery if you maximize the dose. Otherwise, you just have to maintain the discipline and, I don't know what to tell you, practice putting more.
Right.
Hey, Richard, you're
But
the
I-
greatest.
but
I got to
I-
move on. I got a full board here, buddy. Are we good?
Both me and my wife have both been the same. We're behind this type of medicine 100% because
Yeah.
just like what you said. I don't want to go to the doctor,
Right.
and I don't go to the doctor, and I won't do what the doctor says, but I have to because of Social Security.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. So you can go to the doctor and get, the diagnostic stuff done, but you don't have to do what the doctor says. So it's interesting, right? Now I'm in the middle of a book. I don't know. I don't want to make promises as to when this is going to be rolled out, but I'm putting a book together that's going to explain to people what they can do themselves to order their own blood work and their own objective laboratory stuff every year. And how to interpret the results so you can completely stop going to the MD for anything except, bleeding from an artery or a broken bone. Because that's my goal. to put these knuckleheads out of business. Richard, I have to move on. I appreciate your support. Now go get your joints back, and let's play golf one of these days. I'll look forward to it. Looks like Hazel Rose made it back. Hey, Hazel, thanks for the call.
Hi, Dr. Glenn.
What's going on, Hazel Rose?
Well, hey, I have been doing longevity, but I think I have digestion issues. And so I want you to tell me what to do to optimize my assimilating what I'm taking.
Vote Republican.
I will. Not a problem. Okay.
Okay.
I'm already taking enzymes like I think I'm supposed to take them a little bit before I eat. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, so you are. If you're going to take Longevity's digestive enzymes, or quite frankly, anybody's digestive enzymes, the human digestion has two phases, an acid phase and an alkaline phase, and the acid phase comes first. The digestive enzymes support the acid phase. So when you are supplementing with any digestive enzyme, it's mandatory that you take it a little bit before the meal or at the very beginning of the meal.
Okay.
Now,
right.
but I don't want to jump the gun here. I mean, what's going on that makes you think you have a digestive issue? What are the symptoms?
Oh, I just have gas sometimes. I don't have pain or anything. It's just I can tell. Like once I eat something, I'll belch while I'm, doing housework or something. And
so it's gas. You're burping up gas and you're passing gas?
Yes.
And it's more than usual, or this is just how it's always been for you?
It's been going on for a while, a long time, actually.
Okay. So the first thing to consider is, well, you're right. The first thing to consider is there's bugs living in your stomach that should not be there. Or there's bugs living in your intestinal tract that shouldn't ought to be there, right?
Should I do Killer Biotic?
You should do Killer Biotic, and you should also do the root beer belly.
Okay.
You need to be salting your food so that it tastes good. Are you using salt liberally?
You know what? I'm using salt in everything. If I pour myself a glass of water, I've dumped salt.
Is that right?
I'm serious.
That's awesome.
Now, I need to know about water. Is distilled water with real salt in it? It's not good. You have to do...
Well, you got to be... Well, so here's the deal, okay? You have to be careful about putting salt in water, because if you drink salt water, you can create a reverse osmotic gradient in your system, and your system can start peeing out and eliminating water, and you can dehydrate and dry yourself out from the inside out. This is how, by the way, if people are lost at sea, and they're floating around in the life raft and they're thirsty and they're dying of thirst, well, what are they going to do? They're going to drink the seawater because, they just don't know any better. And if you drink seawater, the salt in the seawater creates a reverse osmotic gradient, and it dries your body from the inside out, and you die of acute dehydration. So I don't advise putting salt in water and drinking that on a regular basis, but it would be smart for you to salt your food so that it tastes good. And as long as you're salting your food so that it tastes good and following your body's lead there, you're not going to, you're going to know when enough is enough. And enough is enough after a while with salt, but most people are so deficient in salt that they can do massive amounts of it and they're good to go. Stick around. I've got more to tell you, Hazel Rose. So glad that you called. I'll pull you back up after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. You learning anything today? You're darn right you are. And this is how we're going to change the world. With knowledge, because knowledge empowers. You need it. Everybody in your world does. Join Longevity Nation and help us spread the message. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking to Hazel Rose in Kansas, I believe. Hazel, are you still with me?
Yeah.
All right.
I am.
So,
hey, what else did you tell me to take besides the Killer Biotic?
Root beer belly.
Root beer belly. Okay.
How much do you weigh?
I have gone from 151 to 120.
Is that a good thing?
Doing minerals. Oh yeah.
Okay, you gotta love it.
Nothing. I don't eat. I don't eat very much. I mean, oh well.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like you to do for 1 month get 2 boxes of Root Beer Belly. I want you to do 1 packet at night before bed and 1 packet first thing in the morning as soon as you wake up. And then on the second month, I just want you to do 1 box of Root Beer Belly, and I want you to do 1 packet immediately before bed. The Killer Biotic, I'd like you to get 2 bottles in the first month, and I'd like you to do 2 capsules with breakfast, 2 capsules with lunch, and 2 capsules with dinner. And on the second month, I'd just like you to get 1 bottle of Killer Biotic and do 1 capsule with breakfast, 1 capsule with lunch, 1 capsule with dinner, and then you can stop it and the Root Beer Belly after the second month. You may want to experiment for a couple of weeks with doubling down on your liquid calcium dose and see if that, well, taking twice as much liquid calcium as you take now.
Okay.
As an experiment for a couple of weeks to see if that helps your, the gas situation.
Now, what I'm doing the rest of my powder calcium, but then I'm doing 1 ounce of calcium right before I go to bed. And I don't buy juices. Is it okay if I just put it in some of my Tangy Tangerine 2.0?
Yeah, no problem. No problemo. No problemo.
Okay, because that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Doing that calcium late at night. Now, what about, I have a question about bottled oils. Bottled oils are in everything.
Well, they're not in everything, but they're in a lot of gluten-free baked goods for sure.
Yeah, like crackers and breads and...
So, I'm a human being, and I'm not going to prohibit people from eating that stuff. And the amount of oil, with oil, it's the amount that's the thing. And, there's 100 times more oil in a person's salad than there is in 1 piece of gluten-free bread, right?
Right.
So it's the quantity here that's the killer. And as long as you're nutrified and you're staying away from the 10 bad foods, then a little bit of oil that's in crackers or baked goods that are gluten-free, I don't have a problem with.
Okay.
But it's a point well taken, and that means you're paying attention, Hazel Rose. Good girl.
Well, what about another thing I have a question for?
Yeah.
About several months ago, you were going to have a lady on that was very much into the business. In fact, when she first heard of Dr. Wallach, she wanted to buy 10,000 Dead Doctor Don't Lie CDs. Yeah,
that's Sandy Ellsberg, yeah.
Okay, I didn't write down her name, and I wanted to know if there's any CDs with longevity. Sandy Ellsworth?
Ellsberg, Ellsberg. She wrote a great book. I believe it's called Bread Baker, Bread Winner, I think. Bread Baker, Bread Maker, Bread Winner, something like that. Just do a Google search for Sandy Ellsberg, Ellsberg. She is a diva of network marketing. She's like in the top 3 female network marketers of all time in the United States. She has figured out how to do network marketing, and she is a Dr. Wallach devotee.
Oh, that's cool. Bread Baker, Bread Maker.
Yeah, Bread Winner, I think. But just do a Google search for Sandy Ellsberg. It'll pop right up. Okay,
well, I don't have a computer, but somebody I know does, so I'll do that.
Okay. Hey, we're at the end of the segment. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for the call. Now go out there and get your health back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I'm Dr. Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Stick around. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Glidden here. We are live, coming at you live. Check out the live stream, the drgliddenshow.tv. Remember, if you like what we are talking about and you are listening to terrestrial radio, listen to the commercial breaks and call the number they tell you about during the commercial breaks. You will be directed to a living, breathing human being to give you information about how you can interface with longevity. Clinton from Minneapolis is up next. Hey, Clinton, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, how you doing today, Dr. Glidden?
Pretty good, Clinton. What's cracking?
Hey, I'm calling here real quick about a few things that I was diagnosed with probably a few years ago, and one of them is chronic dermatitis on my neck, seborrheic dermatitis with secondary. What is it? Pityriasis alba on the face.
Yeah.
And also, it's a word here called for my scalp. It's called acne dialysis. I don't know how to spell it.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of this is just what all of this means, Clinton, is that, remember, your MD, I mean, bless their hearts, your MD is trained to name diseases, not to be able to cure diseases. So MDs have 1,000 different names for 1,000 different manifestations of unhealthy skin. I mean, that's great for the MD, not so great for you. It makes the MD seem like high and mighty because the MD spouts off all these Latin technical terms, and really, the average layperson is, left in awe of their magnificent intelligence. But the fact of the matter is the MD is trained in how to name disease, but they're clueless about what causes disease, and they're clueless about what to do to fix it. So, regardless of the name, your skin needs support, right?
Correct.
Your skin needs nutritional support. So how do then the question before the board is, well, what do we do to support and promote healthy structure and function of the skin? Well, that's easy. You give the body the 90 essential nutrients plus extra skin nutrients, and stop eating food that's gumming up the works of the skin. Now, the most common cause of chronic rash in the skin anywhere is the consistent consumption of food or foods that you're allergic to. So, often, just by simply stopping the 10 bad foods, and by the way, if you're new to the radio program, folks, you can get the list of the 10 bad foods for free on my website, drglidden.com. Check it out. Get the list of the 10 bad foods for free on my website, drglidden.com. Often just stopping the 10 bad foods goes a long way towards knocking down the intensity or completely eliminating the rash itself. But if that doesn't go all the way, then you need extra nutritional support for the skin. And in this case, the skin needs essential fatty acids, EFAs, essential fatty acids and more selenium. Essential fatty acids and selenium. So the recommendation would be, right, 1 Healthy Body Start Pack, 2.0 liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And 1 bottle of multi-EFAs per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, 2 bottles of selenium, and 1 bottle of or per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 multi-EFA on top of that.
So Dr. Glidden, real quick here. So I've been doing that. So what it sounds like to me then is that I need to increase probably my EFA. So if I'm taking only maybe 3 a day, I should increase that.
Well, how much do you weigh, man?
Yeah, so it's 270.
Well, all right. So look, check it out, right? When the only time that medical nutrition fails now is if you're not taking enough. Now, most people are so unbelievably nutritionally deficient that, they've gotten used to running on fumes and leading a life of physical mediocrity, and they don't even know how bad it is, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you got someone who's 250 pounds and they can only afford a 50-pound dose. Well, when they start at the 50-pound dose, even though it's not enough for body weight, it's more than they've ever had before. Right. And so they're going to take that stuff into their body and they're going to feel better, right? But in order to break the back of the chronic illness and to support the skin in its journey towards health, you need to give it more, right? So in the final analysis, right, the emphasis here for you at 270, it would be a minimum of 9 EFAs a day. 12 would be better.
Cool, got it. And then one other real quick question. One of the members of my church, her daughter had surgery. And I didn't know this, or, I probably would have been looking for something else, or I'd have consulted with you first, actually. But here's the deal. She had her gallbladder removed. What can we do to help her you know, to support her body, you know, in a recovery road, what would you recommend?
Well, okay, so a funky gallbladder is not the disease. It is the result of the disease, right? There's something going on in that person's body that made their gallbladder get funky.
Right.
Now, simply removing the gallbladder does nothing to change the process that made the gallbladder funky. It's kind of like if you had a leak in your basement and, you know, your basement wall became saturated with water. Now all of a sudden you've got mold because mold grows, you know, in wet places. Well, one solution for that is to go into your basement and cut out the drywall that's saturated with water and remove it. Well, you know, that's one solution, but that does nothing to stop the leak. And it's only a matter of time until more water that's inevitably going to come in is going to go somewhere else and screw something else up. So simply removing the diseased tissue is not sufficient to the cause, but this is what the MDs do all the time. They'll remove the gallbladder, you know, dust their hands off and sleep very soundly at night thinking that they've really helped. And, you know, well, it's better to remove an infected gallbladder from the body than to die from, you know, peritonitis or something. But simply removing the gallbladder does nothing to get on the other side of the illness, and it is only a matter of time until that comes back somewhere else, number one. And then number two, you've removed the gallbladder, and the gallbladder is a necessary part of digestion. So now the person's digestive process is going to be screwed up because they don't have a gallbladder. And when you screw the digestive process up, you're going to accelerate the genesis of other chronic diseases. So it's insanity. It is insanity. And this is why I recommend people fire their MDs, because the MD is clueless about what's really going on in your body and the relationship between your body and disease and health. The MD is clueless about it. And they need to be avoided like the flippin' plague. So, well, what do? Now she needs help. So the recommendation here, remember, this isn't rocket science and we don't treat disease. So it would be prudent for someone who has a gallbladder issue to have digestive support. And that's what we do. So the recommendation here, Clinton, would be 1 healthy digestion pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy digestion pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. That's a really good place for her to start.
And along with the 90 with that as well?
Well, the healthy digestion pack includes the 90 essential nutrients.
Okay, good.
Right?
All right. Yep.
Okay. All right, Clinton, you're the bomb, man. Keep up the good work down there in Minneapolis. Your community needs you more than you know. Oh, Canada. Rob from Canada is up next. Hey, Rob, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thanks for taking my call, Dr. Glidden.
You're welcome. What part of Canada are you in?
Oshawa. It's in Ontario.
It's in Ontario. All right. That's great. Thanks for the call. You are live. Oh, by the way, how about those Chicago Blackhawks, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, Rob? What's up?
Well, I have type 2 diabetes, and I'm taking the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack and Ultimate Selenium Plant-Derived Minerals and Ultimate Daily.
Great.
I have peripheral neuropathy. It's worse in my left foot, and my toe is kind of numb.
Yeah.
Can the longevity products help relieve the neuropathy to get the feeling back in the feet?
I've seen it happen on numerous times. Yeah, the answer is yes, I've seen it. But, there's nothing, so the answer is I've seen it happen on numerous occasions, number one. Number two, I don't have a crystal ball. Number three, there is a point beyond which your body can't recover its health. There is a breaking point beyond which it can't recover. I don't know if you've gotten there or not. But so all of this begs the question, right? How long have you been, on board with our protocols, and have you seen any positive change anywhere in your body since you've been hanging out with us?
Well, I've seen the positive change in my feet. They're definitely better, I think, because of the the.
So how much better, right? 10%, 20%, 90%? What do you think, if you had to give a number?
50.
50? In how long?
That was about a few months.
Okay, so 50% in a couple of months. That's good. How about mood, energy, sleep, appetite, digestion, elimination? Anything else improve?
Well, I don't sleep that well, but I feel energetic and
Okay, so,
I feel pretty good. Yeah.
all right, is it hard to fall asleep or hard to stay asleep?
Well, I wake up. I think that's a blood sugar issue, isn't it?
That is a blood sugar issue, yeah. So how many sweeties are you taking a day?
Well, I just had I think about 4 or so, or sometimes I don't take that.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
About 230 or 40.
All right, well, in a perfect world, you would be doing 12 sweeties a day, 4, 4, and 4. In a perfect world, you'd be doing 12 sweeties a day, 4, 4, and 4, right? Now, and there's a difference here, right, in the wonderful world of, nutritional intervention between a therapeutic dose and a maintenance dose. So, everybody has a different budget and different restrictions, but in a perfect world, for the first 6 months, let's say, in order to support and promote healthy blood sugar metabolism in somebody with an active blood sugar issue, it's better to give more. And so, in a perfect world, you'd be doing 12 sweeties a day. So you might want to experiment with that just for 14 days. Do 12 sweeties a day and see how that makes you feel subjectively, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, Rob, it's kind of like planting the tomato seed and taking care of it and watering it and everything, and waiting for the tomato to bloom. There's really too many variables to predict when you're actually going to be eating a tomato, but eventually you're going to be eating a tomato, and this is how medical nutrition rolls out. In a perfect world, you would be doing one healthy blood sugar, you'd be doing 3 healthy blood sugar packs a month, 3 healthy blood sugar packs a month in a perfect world. Maintain the discipline, stay the course, and look for positive change every couple of weeks, right? That's a good strategy. I recommend people do a little symptom diary to keep track of that. Appreciate your call, buddy. Give it more time. Stick around, folks. We're finishing up when we come back. Oh, yeah, baby. We're back in the saddle. Next live event, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time, an exclusive worldwide webinar, worldwide live chat in a webinar format for Dr. Glidden insiders and their guests exclusively. Now, if you're a Dr. Glidden insider and you have someone in your life who you want to share this with, well, all you have to do is go into your subscription and cut, copy, and paste the link for tonight's event and email it to them. And for them, it's free. And that's really a really awesome thing. It's an awesome tool that we're using to help disseminate our knowledge base to everybody in the world, because really everybody needs to know this. And if you're an insider, you can have access to an ability to invite people to our live events, and it doesn't cost them anything. It's like bringing somebody to the movies and paying for it for them. It doesn't even cost anything. That's a good thing. So check it out. The next live event tonight, 8 p.m. Central Time. Be there or be square. Jenny from Ohio is last. Hey, Jenny, thanks for calling. We have 4.5 minutes left. How can I help?
Okay, can you hear me?
You betcha.
Okay, I been seeing a doctor, and recently he did an x-ray on me, having some lung problems, and he is suspecting interstitial lung disease. Are you familiar
Yeah, the
with that?
emphasis here being he's suspecting it, right? The most common cause of this is long-term exposure to some crap like asbestos. Was any of that going on in your life?
Well, I've had chemical exposure, and I lived in a house with mold for about 12 years. Those
Yeah.
are the big ones I know of.
Yeah, it could have something to do with it. But, this is, again, from my point of view, this is interesting stuff to talk about because, again, your MD is trained to name disease,
Right.
but they're not trained how to fix it or, cure it. All they're taught is how to name disease. And often they'll name it after themselves, right? Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Sjogren's syndrome or, whatever. So from our point of view, right, whether it's, an interstitial lung disease or asthma or bronchitis or bronchiolitis, you need lung support. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. And remember, what we do in the context of this radio program is boilerplate foundation nutritional support. And I've got to tell you, Jenny, that after having done this for 25 years now clinically, I can say, as God is my witness, most of the time when you have someone dealing with a chronic medical condition and you give them boilerplate foundation broad spectrum nutritional support, the recovery is remarkable. It is remarkable, and often it's the only thing that's necessary to do. But you have to kind of ride that horse and see where it takes you.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I understand about nutritional health and rebuilding things. He's saying that there might possibly be some scar tissue here. Can that heal? Can your lungs rebuild tissues, that sort of thing?
It depends on how bad the damage is, and it depends on how extensive it is. But I've seen patients, for instance, with fake knees, right? They had bone-on-bone arthritis. They were told they had bone-on-bone arthritis. The MD convinced them, the orthopedic surgeon convinced them to have a knee replacement surgery. And then after the knee replacement surgery, they started medical nutrition, and they grew cartilage over the fake knee. So,
okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I know that you need lung support. I mean, I know that you need lung support. And I know that you kind of feel better when you do get lung support. So the recommendation for you would be, how much do you weigh?
95 pounds.
All right, that's easy then. It would be one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 2 bottles of selenium, 2 bottles of selenium, 1 bottle of multi-EFAs, 1 bottle of multi-EFAs, and 1 bottle of Immortalium a month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. I'd ride that horse for 3 months and look to see how it makes you feel. And, at 100 pounds, you should feel something noticeable and measurable and remarkable within, a couple of weeks. But, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as we are wont to say. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of our time. I don't know, where does the time go? Thanks so much for tuning in and turning on. Until we meet again, I am your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden.